Let me start the recording. Hi everyone, good morning, and thank you so much for joining. This is the first ever event of Mumbai User Group, and I'm very much glad that I will be taking this session. So before getting into this event, kindly join Splunk Mumbai User Group on Slack for all the questions and answers will be discussed on Slack. Also, this will be useful for selecting the winners. All right, let me go ahead. Agenda. So we're gonna talk about what is a GOGS. We will try to understand how we have solved a real-time problem by using this application. We will try to understand how we have integrated GOGS with Splunk. And in the end, we will try to understand what are the features we have for this application, Splunk app for GOGS. All right. First, let me introduce members of Mumbai User Group. So the first member we have Ashwin Pandey. He has about 3 years of experience in Splunk admin and development. He have expertise with dashboard customization, app creation, and server configuration. He is also a good in blogger and a YouTuber. You can check out his work on Avotrix YouTube channel. And the next member we have a Vignesh Naidu. He has 10 years of robust experience working in IT and an active Splunker since 2015. He has seen numerical Splunk architecture of different organizations, and he have worked on server Splunk design, implementation, and development project. Also, he had worked on IoT and Docker, which are some of the interesting tech he had worked on. And he is fond of gardening. And the last member, we have Ajit Nayak. So he has about 3 years of experience in Splunk admin. He is an avid animal lover. Oh yeah, this is me. All right. So before getting into this topic, let me tell you something about myself. So I have 3 years of experience in Splunk admin and development. I work as a Splunk developer and admin at Avotrix. Avotrix is a big data analytic company. So we deal with the implementation of Splunk, creation of Splunk app and add-on. In fact, GOX app for Splunk is created by me. We also provide Splunk support. So I have been conducting Splunk training from past 2 years. I have worked on premium application of Splunk like enterprise security and ITSI. I have also worked on IoT and AWS as well. I love to watch movies. That's a kind of thing which I do. Okay, now we are into the topic. What is a GOGS? So you guys might be wondering what is a GOGS. So let me tell you what is a GOGS. GOGS is a version control system software. So we can use this GOGS application to control the Splunk configuration. And the best part about this application is it's a open source software. And because of this, companies like IGT, Codeman, Global Access, and so on are started using this application. Let's go ahead. Okay, so let me tell you a sweet problem story which we have faced in my organization. So, initially what happened, everyone working in my organization has the access of deployment server. So deployment server are used to deploy the configuration to your cluster master, to your deployer, or to your forwarder cluster. So what happens sometimes while deploying the changes or new application, sometimes they deploy the bad configuration. And because of this, sometimes what happens, server might goes down. Now it's become very much difficult to trace who had pushed those configuration. And it also take an ample amount of time to troubleshoot the issues and to resolve those issues. So you guys know how much time it takes to resolve an issue inside the Splunk, right? So this was a problem which we had faced. Yes. So we were looking for the alternative. Like this man, we were looking for alternative. So we came across GOGS. So to resolve this issue, we thought for VCS software. So using VCS for the first time and implementing it, GOGS being an open source application came into the picture. And because of this, what we did, we installed this GOGS application inside our server. GOGS is a self-hosted repo. And because of this, we have our data, we have our configurations remains inside our premises. So by reading all the documentation and videos which are available online, we successfully configured the GOGS in Splunk. Now you guys might be wondering how we have configured GOGS with Splunk. So for that, what we did, we have three phases over here to complete that process. So in the first phase, you can see over here, we have a local repo. So user push new configuration from this local repo to the master repo. Now, what is a master repo? So this is a master repo which we have in the phase two. So master repo is your GOGS application, okay, where we have installed a GOGS. Now in the phase three, what we are running a cron. So whatever the new configurations we have in the master repository is try to pull those new configuration and is try to save to the staging repo. And the staging repo, what we are trying to do, we are trying to copy the latest configuration to the deployment apps. And in this way, we deploy the configuration or apps to the deployment server. Okay, so now we push our changes using GOGS to Splunk. But before the changes are deployed to the Splunk, it is approved by the Splunk admin. And then only those changes are deployed to the Splunk. Okay, so this is how we used to deploy the application after using the GOGS. Do you guys have any questions still here?
So how often it will face from the Git server from the phase 2 when one of the developer will push into the master node.
Yes. So
So
basically,
will it be
over here
from?
we are running a cron. Yes. So let's say I'm running a cron at 2 minutes. So in every 2 minutes, it's try to fetch the data from the master repository.
Okay.
Yep.
Fine.
Thank you. Do you guys have any other questions? I believe you guys might be bored with my story. Okay, so I will ask Ajit for icebreaker. Ajit?
Thanks, Vikram. Yeah, and you're right. It's kind of, we can say, not we are not getting bored, but it's kind of good new information which we are getting. So, hi everyone. I am Ajit Naik, the third member of Splunk Mumbai user group. It's funny, I introduced myself since I was told to open up the conversation with a joke. So, how is your mood right now? I'm thinking it's Friday morning. I'd be busy with office work or working from home. So, thinking one might be grumpy or excellent. Like let me give you. There's a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being a grumpy and 5 being excellent. There's an option below on right bottom corner on WebEx for conversation. There's a chat besides participants. Oh, Bojan. Sorry. I didn't realize. Great. Yep. So there's an option below on right bottom corner on WebEx for conversation. Can you type on in a mode in here and hit enter? Once again, let me say it again. There's a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the grumpy and 5 being X. Type in your mode. Excellent. Great. So we are giving out some goodies. I'll be asking 3 questions and we expect you to answer those in chat window. The first person with correct answer will be the winner. So are you ready? If I get 10 yeses, I will start with the question. Thank you, Satya. Great. So let me start with a simple one. And also let me copy and paste it in chat window since not everyone can get to know my pronunciation to everyone. Yeah, the first question is, who is known as the human computer of India? Anyone? I kind of seem everyone was ready. Great, great. That's correct answer. But let us wait till the end to check who was the first one to answer that question. Let's move on to some things related to Splunk. So the second question was, or is, on which of the component of Splunk we can use VCS, that's version control system. Great. Thank you. Still with something. Perfect version. Third question, and it's a simple one. It's a knowledge for IT related question. Which of the following is an example of non-volatile memory? Yep. So I received a lot of answers here. Seems like person from Germany. Yeah, you're right. It's ROM. Correct. So that's it. We got three. I think we got 3 winners from these 3 questions. At the end of the session, I will pass out the name, give out the name of the winners. Till then, Vikram, can you can continue with the evening. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you so much, Ajit. That was amazing. All right, let's move further. Okay, like now we're gonna see how we have onboarded our data of Gox inside the Splunk. So you know guys, still here we haven't thought to create an application, but soon we had so much changes inside the Splunk. So we thought if we could visualize those data, it would become more easier to trace all the configuration which went into the Splunk. And you know, the biggest challenge we faced was to onboard the data of Gox to Splunk. So after a multiple sleepless night, we figured it out by using Webhook input add-on, which help us to onboard the data via post method. So what we did, we installed it add-on into a HF, and from there we use a Webhook to pull the data from Gox to the Splunk. Okay, so now we have the data inside the Splunk. Okay, so what are the data we have for the Gox? We have inside the Splunk. Yeah, this is the application which I have created. Okay, so you will able to find out this application in the Splunk base. Okay, so let me go to my browser to show you this application. Okay, yeah. So this is the welcome page of this application. And over here, you will able to see a multiple navigation like home page, files, issues, and so on. So if I click on the home page, you will not able to see the data right now because I don't have it's loading till now. Yep. You know, over here, you will not able to see our data because, you know, I don't have a real-time data in my local host, but I do have a sample dashboards for each and every navigation. Okay, so let me show you a sample dashboard. So let's go for the home navigation. All right. Yep. So this is how your home navigation look like. So in this, what we have, you will able to see the commits, you will able to see the push, pull request, how many issues has been open. Over here also, you will able to see when was your last repo updated. Also, you will able to find out what is the age of your repo. You will able to see the size of your repo as well. You will also able to come to know how many watches you have for your repository. Okay. So this is there in the home navigation. Next, what we have a files. Okay, so over here you can see we have this file navigation. In this, you will able to see the how many files has been added to your Splunk, how many files has been modified, removed, and so on. So if you click on these values, you will able to come to know what are the files have been added, at what time, and who has added those files. Also, you will able to see the description. Okay, and if you wanted to hide this panel, you can check this box. Same goes for each and every panels as well. Over here, we have commits URL. Okay, so what are the commits you are doing for adding a file, for modding a file? For those, it will create a URL. And if you want to jump on that commit, you can simply click on this URL and you will able to see those commits. Okay. All right. Do you guys have any questions to share?
Vikram, we have a
Let me
couple of
go to the.
questions. Sorry, Vikram. So we have a couple of questions in the chat. I think we can answer it at the end of the session if we want. But for very specific to the topic, if anyone has, they can ask.
Okay. Sure. Okay, let's move further. Next, we have issues navigation. In this, you will able to see the yep, how many issues has been open, any comments are there on the issues and the closed issues. So if you click on open issues, you will able to come to know what is the title of that issues, who had opened that issue, I mean the ID for that, you will able to see the time as well. And same like the file navigation, if you click on this checkbox, this panel will get hide. Similar to this, if you click on this URL, you will able to see the issues. So let's say we have this issue, let's say issue number 45. Now in this issue number 45, if anyone is doing any kind of a comment and all, so if you click on this URL, you will able to directly open your repo. Okay. And in the last, we have a pull request, the second last thing. Yep. So over here, you will be able to see the open pull request and the close pull request, who had opened those pull requests at what time, and also at what time those pull requests has been closed and so on. So you will able to see the detailed information over here. And the last navigation, what we have is for the fork and release. Yep. So over here, you will able to come to know who had forked who had forked the repository and who had opened a release. Right. So these all the things are there inside my application. So we have seen the home page, we have seen the issues, we have seen this dashboard as well. Yes, we do have some more application in the Splunk base. Okay, we have applications as well as we have the add-ons. So we have Microsoft SMTP-F for the Splunk in the Splunk base. We also have OS Ticket add-on. We also have Zixel Firewall and AWS Lambda Alert Action. So all these application you will be able to find out in the Splunk base. Okay, we are done for the session. So do you guys have any questions still here?
All right. Thank you, Vikram. So I'll just take up one question which was posted by Bojan Janis. Bojan, thank you so much for your question. I appreciate it. So I would also request other users, if they do have a question, they can post it in the chat. So yeah, so let's take up the question. So how would you set up or manage these app repositories? Do you create a new repo for each app and distribute with Puppet Chef, or create a repository for different nodes? And how do you distribute it? Basically, that's the question. So it's a very good question. I think it's a very deep question. Thank you so much for bringing up this question. Um, so one thing, Bojan, the management part can be dealt in a different way. So the way we are dealing it is, each user has a different repository. So let's say there is a user ABC, they can have an individual repository of their own name. And what we do is we ask the user to create a repository of his own name, and then we ask them to send it, they send the settings to the specific user's repository, and that repository is being later on merged with the master repository, creating a pull request. So basically, every setting of each user goes into their own repositories, and that repository contains the newer configuration, and that's how we are merging it to the central master repository. So to talk about the other scenario that you have asked, like how do you manage for each um, you know master node like DSCM or deployer? So right now we have made in a way that this is actually a very good question. So this part explains how are we managing using the central manager. So right now we have made in a way that we have deployment server as our complete master, which owns everything. So the deployment server actually pushes the bundle to the deployer and the cluster master, and the cluster master then pushes the indexes or related apps add-ons configuration to its managed peers, which are the cluster indexes which are in clusters, right? So in this way, we have a control of apps or add-ons being pushed to each of these masters, be it the deployer or the cluster master, from the deployment server itself. So basically, the deployment apps folder takes the control over, and then it pushes the settings to either the forwarders or the other two managers, which are like cluster master or the deployer. So this is how the current configuration was that we initially created. And I know based on the different architecture and the recommendations, we can definitely have different configuration, but this was how it was managed. This was managed in our organization. So I see you have another question, how do you distribute? So basically we use the deployment server itself to distribute the apps configurations. As Vikram mentioned, we have a repository in the deployment server. You can say it's like you know staging folder, right, where we have a set of apps and add-ons, a newer configuration being pulled off from the master repository to the staging folder, and from the staging folder we copy it to the deployment-apps via Git hook. And once we have the apps in the deployment apps, the Git hook also has a reload, reload deploy-server command, which gets issued, and the apps is getting deployed to the respective folders. So that's how the configuration was. I hope it explains. I have seen your chat, and yep, that so it's basically git ds cm. Yep, you can say that. Yep, that's how it works. So thank you for your question. So we have another question from Ayush. What is the central repository on-prem or Git? So Git is a version controlling tool, and the platform that we are using is a GOGS, right? So you have GitHub, GitLab, so many other platforms. So we are right now using GOGS. The GOGS is an on-prem. You can manage it on your premise, unlike GitHub, which is on cloud. So this is again open source. It has other features which were very helpful. At the same time, we wanted those like creation of pull request where it goes for an approval, and also that's the main reason for selecting GOGS. At the same time, the highlighting point is it's an open source. Right? All right. So moving on, there's one more question. If it is it possible to monitor local using this? Absolutely, Vishal. I think it's again a good question. So this um, repository, right? It contains a lot of settings. One such setting, let's say you have your developer working on a specific app, and he creates a local conf file, right? That's something which gets pushed along with your repository to the master repository. And the good thing is the complete repository gets pushed with it, and the local conf settings also goes along with it. Now, as you have the Vikram's dashboard, one of the dashboard there also has, a URL parser which can definitely help you extract the local as well as the default, configurations, and help you tell you what were any local or default changed version configurations were also pushed along with the earlier push. So basically it's version controlling, as you know, right? So that's how you can definitely find out, if there was a new local push. Thanks, Vishal, for that. I guess more or less I have answered. So I have a question from Purush. He's like, GOGS is only VCS, or will it be able to store knowledge object? Uh, so Purush, to answer your question, I think GOGS is definitely a VCS. Like as I mentioned, GOGS is just an alternative of GitHub, um, GitLab, all these kind of platforms. But yes, GOGS is a version controlling software, as you mentioned, and it can definitely store any configuration files, be it the navigation, the XML, or the conf files, or be it any other settings that you want to push. So it's just that we are making in a way that we are asking the GOGS to push the repositories, and those repositories contain conf and the XML, which is ultimately pushed onto the deployment apps. And from there on, we have the reload, which pushes the configurations to other instances. So to answer your question, yes, we are pushing the conf as well as the XML, JS. We can also use the CSS to push on the to get it pushed from the COGS. I hope that answers the question. Pretty much, I guess I have answered most of the questions, and thank you so much for bringing up these questions. Um, I'll open it for some more time. Maybe if someone has any more question, they can definitely post it here. So, Ayush, so we can say that we have created a use case in Splunk for GOGS. Okay, so basically what we have done is we have solved the version controlling problem. At the same time, we have solved the automation. We have created an automated solution for deployment using this mechanism, I would say. First thing is the version controlling problem, which was solved using GOGS. And the next part, we have done an automation where a reload deploy command need not be pushed by a user, logging into the system. So this happens in an automated way. So it's as good as like you just have to send the config conf file settings into your local repository and push it to the master repository, and the rest of the deployment happens automatically. So this is a kind of automation at the same time using version controlling to solve the problem. Now this GOGS app created by Vikram is an app which helps you to visualize or show you insight about the analytics that happens at the background. Let's say you want to know how many pushes were done and what were the pushes, the exact configuration being sent to a deployment server, cluster master. So those kind of analytics can be uh, you know shown in the form of a panel. So that's how that's the basic reason of using the GOGS. Oh, okay. So there's one more question from Vishal. Does it handle restart of Splunk service if needed for Splunk? So Vishal, to be honest, the Splunk D restart uh, is being handled by the deployment server itself, because whatever configuration that you have, um, you mentioned in the conf file whether you want to have a restart, right? So basically that's been handled by the deployment server. So that's again a reason for why we go with the deployment server for its management. So I hope that answers the question. Yep, that's right. GOGS is very similar to Bitbucket and GitHub. I really appreciate, guys. I can see a lot of questions coming in. I really appreciate that you're contributing, asking questions. Thank you. Thank you so much for getting involved. Okay, we are, I think, almost close to 11:40. I'm still open for questions. I think we can definitely spend 2 more minutes for questions. I hope Vikram, you don't mind?
Yes, we can do. Yeah, no issues.
All right. I think this is the very first ever event that is organized by Splunk Mumbai User Group, and I really appreciate uh, everyone for taking their time to join our event. I hope this session was really helpful for you, right? And I'm privileged to take up the questions. Um, so I'll stay for a minute more. Maybe if we get more questions, I can definitely answer. All right. I don't see a question coming in, but I would like to, thank once again. I'd pass on this to Vikram. Vikram, you can take it. Thanks.
Thank you, Vignesh. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Now you guys might be interested, who are the winners. So I will ask Ajit to announce the winners.
Thank you, Vikram. Yes, me again. Let's move on to the winners. The winners are Anurag Singh and Bajan Janish. Congratulations, guys. You'll be approached via email or phone. And for all other participants, we will be conducting number of sessions in the future. And yes, there will be goodies too. I hope you like this session. But in case you have any questions, you can reach out to us on social media handle mentioned in the description of the event on usergroup.splunk.com. You can also reach out to our speaker, Vikram Yadav. Thanks again for making this event successful. Hoping to see you again later. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Okay,
Ajit.
guys. Thank you
Thanks,
so much, guys.
Vikram.
Bye bye.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.